Hey, Kristen.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So this is the fifth Friday Zoom for Munising School Public Library. We're going to launch our new program called Fifth Friday Zoom. What did we say it was? And chocolate?
Something, books and
Something like
chocolate.
that. Something like that. So our purpose of this is number one, to utilize a little bit of our electronic inexpertise to have a discussion about books, and also to shed light on what we're currently reading, and maybe what we think about the item that we're currently reading. And then I guess that would be our review. And then we're going to each time we do this review a different piece of chocolate.
Yeah.
So yeah, so today's book that we're going to discuss is the Two Books, Two Communities book, The Lightkeeper's Daughters by Jean Pendziwol. I make sure I get that right. And this book is got a lot of buzz because it's been selected for Two Books, Two Communities for Marquette and Alger County for the 2022 fall selection. So we're pretty excited. She's going to be visiting the Munising Library on October 12th
Yep.
at 6 p.m. So we're going to have a nice time with her and have a great discussion about this book. So you and I have both been reading this book, and there are numerous events. So I'm going to show you the poster and you notice the cover is different. There's multiple covers for this book, and there are multiple books called The Lightkeeper's Daughter and Lighthouse Keeper's Daughter. So you want to make sure you get the right book. And she's also written a second book called Me and You and the Red Canoe. So that's the two books for our two communities. There's a nice picture of her. And she will be doing events in Marquette as well. I think this is probably backwards, isn't it? But she'll be doing events in Marquette and Munising as well. So, and then our chocolate that we're going to do today later on is this dark Tazo chocolate that I found. It's a salted almond Mexican style stone ground chocolate, organic and direct trade. And we're
Ooh.
going to be opening that baby up. So anyway, let's get started because this, is pretty exciting topic. And while
So
I'm going to let you
we should,
start.
well,
Uh,
yeah, we should set the stage of this book.
yes.
So the Lightkeeper's Daughters, the book centers around two pretty important characters that you're introduced to right away at the beginning of the book. So there's an elderly woman who is currently in a retirement home, and she is blind, and there is a young teenage woman who is in the foster care system and is at the retirement home because she got into a little bit of trouble, and she did some spray painting, and so now her punishment, her community service, is to repaint what she vandalized. So those are your two characters. So you have this young teenage woman who is actually, I think, very much struggling with her identity and sense of self and figuring out who she is, where she came from, what, she's just got questions.
Mhm.
And this elderly woman who is at the retirement home, she also has some questions. And recently, she has come into some journals from her father. And she grew up on Porphyry Island. Her dad was the lighthouse keeper for many years there. So
Mhm.
she and her family grew up on this island.
Which is an island in Lake Superior,
Yes, so this is
in
on Lake
Canadian
Superior.
waters. Yeah.
Yep. So, and Lake Superior, I might add, factors in, as I feel like, its own character in this book. It's kind of has this mystical presence about it. So that's to set the stage of this story. You have these two women coming from very different worlds that are put together. They meet at this retirement home. And so this elderly woman who has come into possession of these journals of her dad's but she is blind. She cannot read them. So she needs somebody to read them to her. And that's where this young teenager who is there comes into play. And she ends up reading these journals to this woman, and they begin this relationship and start this journey of discovery together.
Right.
And I don't want to say too much more about what happens to these two characters, how their lives intertwine, and what their stories are, because that's part of what drives this book is discovering that. And
Right.
it is a book full of surprises, many of which are not revealed until the very, very end. So
Right. It's a real, right up to the last minute type of book. And so that's what makes it so intriguing to continue to turn the pages. And I think you and I had similar comments about, as most books start, you kind of wonder, where's this going? Where's this
yes.
going? And as this book progresses, it really builds the sense of not so much suspense, but excitement as to finding out how is this going to end? How are these two people, who are interacting in this different type of relationship? I mean, really a girl who's doing kind of almost like probationary work,
right,
at a nursing home, removing the graffiti that she's defaced the place with, ends up becoming the eyes for this woman who is looking to unlock secrets from her past. Here's a girl who doesn't even really know her past,
right,
becoming the eyes for an elderly woman who needs to unravel some things that were unknown to her and that are contained in these journals.
And you wonder, well, why would the author bring these two particular people together? Why would she use this young girl as the eyes to help this elderly woman discover her past? It's not necessarily suspense per se.
I have students, so I'll help them.
So it's not necessarily suspense per se, but you're invested in wondering, what is the end result? What are all the surprises going to be? And I would encourage readers to stick with it, because in the beginning it may be a little clumsy and slower, but as it moves on, that pace quickens, and you do become invested in discovering what happens to these characters and why are they together. And for anybody who has any interest in lighthouses and what it's like to run a lighthouse, be a lighthouse keeper, any of that, you might find some interesting tidbits in here. So there's almost an aspect of historical fiction, because these are real. This is a work of fiction by far, but this is real places, and there have been journals found from lighthouse keepers at Porphyry Island that kind of inspired this book. So although it is a complete work of fiction, it is based in real experiences of people that have been lighthouse keepers. So if you have an interest in that, you might really enjoy this book for that reason.
Well, and I just think it's really, it's just an all around good story. So often you're looking for things that, have like a driving storyline and things like that, and they're high energy and high impact. This book really intrigues you to think about more about the past story that they're telling you, and how can these two possibly be connected. And so it's not that gripping, got to turn the page to find out, blood and guts or a thriller or a mystery.
Right.
This one really makes you think about what it would have been like to have been on the island and what it would have been like to been this little girl,
And
and
the family dynamics, the family
yeah,
drama, and that desperate yearning and longing for figuring out your identity and figuring out who you are and how your past, your perception of it based on, is your experience. And there's all these other things that have happened that maybe you weren't aware of, that when you find that out, maybe it sheds a new perspective on your life.
I'm
And
unwrapping the chocolate.
oh, and the cool thing is, there was at one point when I'm reading the book and I thought, oh, I know what's going to happen. I've got it figured out. I know what's going to
Yeah,
be the reveal. And I
sure.
was wrong, and that was really nice to be surprised, because I don't think it's as fun when it's predictable and you know what's going to happen. So it was really nice to be surprised.
Well, I gave you my big confession, right? That I read ahead.
Yes. Oh, yes, you did.
Well, I did because I was like, I have to find out what happened. I have to find out. It just drove me crazy. So, um, do we have somebody so now, not to keep us a whole lot longer, but I want to talk a little bit more now about this chocolate bar. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to go by Kristen and I'm going to give her her hunk of chocolate. This interesting piece of chocolate comes out in two wafers. And so we decided that we would take a look. And so I took a chunk and you can see the wafers kind of have like little segments and stuff. I cracked it in half and all of the little segments pop out like this. So we're going to, I'm going to give Kristen a piece and we're going to talk about, a little bit more about why this can be such a sweet activity to, discuss a book together and find out. I put a chocolate there. Find out, the sweet spots in the book and the sweet spots in the chocolate, because we're both chocoholics. I put your piece back there. Okay. So, and we're doing this while we're live. We're open to the public, open to students, and having a discussion about books, because we really want to encourage people here in the library and elsewhere to read something and then have a discussion about it. And it doesn't have to be a big, long, convoluted discussion. It doesn't have to be anything other than just how you felt about the book, kind of like we kind of feel about the chocolate. So, Kristen, are you anywhere near your chocolate? I put it right over there. So it's just a little, the whole candy bar type thing, it breaks up into these little triangular chunks. So I thought it's 40% cacao. It's not like a 90 or one of those really dark ones. It's just kind of a 40% or so. I'm sticking mine in my mouth.
Okay.
All right. We'll see what I think of this. It's almost like a sugar quality to it.
But that's the salt in there.
There's salt and there's almond. There's a lot of salt.
I'm not getting any almond.
I don't know. I'm not either, but I'm getting a lot of salt. I know, but it's very, very chocolatey. Hey, there's our UPS man. I'm gonna give him a piece of chocolate.
I didn't get any almond. It's pretty good. I like it.
A little cinnamon with the chocolate. It's all interesting.
Okay, just a minute. We're gonna get the UPS man's take on this. How's the candy bar?
It's actually really good.
Yeah, do you find it healthy?
That fireball really messed it up.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll take it from there. So
it's almost green.
That's the salt.
Yeah, it is grainy.
Yeah. Interesting. Very good. Very good. All right. There you go. There's a book.
Thank you.
There's a book and there's some chocolate. So I do want to
Yes.
give a shout out to Heather Nabak, who has already provided our next chocolate bar, which I have, where did I put it? It is a very interesting looking chocolate bar. That I'm not sure where I put it, but it's an Oriental 5-spice chocolate bar. So we'll be doing that at our
Ooh.
next 5th Friday. And so watch our Facebook page for the
Yeah.
next 5th Friday, and we'll do
And give the Lightkeeper's Daughters give it a read. It's
Yes.
worth your time. It's worth.
Oh,
the
I
read.
totally agree. And so again, the event for the author will be here October 12th, 6 o'clock in the library. We'll hope to see you then.
Can't wait to see her.
Great.
Thank you.
Bye.